Great price, great selection, great experience. That's what people expect today. What isn't expected is how hard we work after the sale to keep your business. Hard work, honesty, integrity, discipline, trust, character. These core values are why we grow every year and why we continue to acquire more dealerships. Experience the Schottenkirk way of doing business and come visit our new Ford dealership in Indianola.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise and your lights will go on. That's because at MidAmerican Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just the best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
Building a strong community doesn't happen overnight. It takes a vision for the future, the ability to turn a challenge into a success, and individuals who inspire new generations of growth. Greater Des Moines has done a lot of growing over the years, and so have we. At Brick Gentry Law, your success is something that we create together. Thank you for making us a part of your community. Thank you for 50 years.
Catch is made, and he fumbles. Valley causes a fumble. It's picked up. Recovered by Mason Morris. Mason picks up where he left off last year, one of the leading rushers in Central Iowa.
It's time now for West Des Moines Valley High School football on the Central Iowa Sports Network. CISN.TV is Iowa's premier source for live-streamed high school football. High school football on CISN.TV is brought to you by Atlantic Bottlers, Schottenkirk Chevrolet, Shields, the Better Business Bureau, G&L Clothing. Now let's go to our CISN.TV team for Valley Tiger High School football.
Good evening and welcome to Valley Stadium in West Des Moines. I'm Pat Curtis along with Keith Bornis, and it's a Class 4A District 7 showdown tonight between the Ames Little Cyclones and the Valley Tigers. Of course, Valley ranked number 1 in the state, 7-0. Ames coming in with a 5-2 record after 5 straight wins. Keith, tell us about the keys to the game, brought to you by Schottenkirk Chevrolet.
Well, for Ames tonight, Ames has to move the ball around. Right now, their quarterback is sitting pretty well. He's getting better protection as he's throwing the ball. He's also looking to do some run-pass option things. He's going to be able to read the defense and see if he needs to hang off, hand the ball off, if he's going to throw it downfield or run it himself. Defensively, Ames is going to have to stop the run game for Valley to get success tonight. But when you stop the run game, if that happens, Bo Lombardi has certainly been throwing the ball around pretty good this year, has some pretty good receivers to stop. Valley, they need to have the run game go. Defensively, they got to be in position to stop that RPO.
All right, keys to the game by Schottenkirk Chevrolet. We'll tell you a little bit about the weather, brought to you by G&L Clothing. Cloudy, 44 degrees, a chilly night. Good football weather, though.
It is great football weather tonight. When you got to bring a blanket to cover up over your winter coat, but also have your gloves open that you can hang on to your hot chocolate, it's a good night for football.
When we come back, we'll hear from Valley coach Gary Swenson. This is high school football on CISN.TV.
Okay, ladies, it's action October, and we all know what that means. Time for our annual mammograms. Iowa Radiology believes that mammograms are the best way to catch breast cancers early and save lives. With 3D and low-dose technology, they are now more accurate and safe. It's only once a year, and if you don't do it for yourself, do it for your daughters, your friend, your sons, or your family. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule an appointment. Iowa Radiology. Our focus is your good health.
The other guys, they think they know what special means. At Godfather's Pizza, we do special, and we do it better. We add the T. There's a Godfather specialty pizza with your name on it. Classic combo, all meat combo, hot stuff, taco, yeah, even veggie and more. All of them piled high with the best toppings and 100% real cheese. Treat yourself special. Order specialty pizzas from Godfather's Pizza.
Welcome back to Valley Stadium. It's the Tigers against the Ames Little Cyclones tonight. Now let's hear from the head coach of the number 1 ranked Valley Tigers. Earlier this week, I spoke with Gary Swenson, and first we talked about last week's 77-0 win at Council Bluffs, Lincoln.
You know, we started substituting about midway through the second quarter, and none of our starters were on the field in that second half, and I think that, you know, we still put up points on the board even with our backup. So it was just one of those nights. You know, there's teams on your schedule every year that are struggling, and we've got a couple here in the last few weeks that are definitely in that boat.
Was that first half of the Urbandale game kind of a wake-up call of sorts for your team?
Well, I don't know. You know, Urbandale had, you know, they had the good receiver who made a couple nice catches in that first half, and you know, I thought we had prepared well that week, and they just made some plays. You know, a lot of the teams in this area, and they're one of them, everybody has some good players, and if they can exploit their talents, you know, it's pretty rare for you to just shut everybody down. I thought, yeah, I mean, it was frustrating early, but, you know, I don't think anybody panicked. I think we still felt like we were the better team, and we came out and showed that in the second half. But, you know, they're on the edge of being a playoff team, so I don't think anybody was looking at what they got done in the first half as something that we hadn't considered. But clearly we felt like going in we were the better team, and I think it ultimately showed that in the second half.
Well, you've got Ames coming to your field for your last home regular season game. What about the Little Cyclones? Obviously, they got off to a difficult start with some really tough opponents, but man, they're putting up a lot of points.
Yeah, they've won their last 5, and they're kind of like Urbandale. They've got a few kids that are very good players that would play for anybody. They lost early to Cedar Falls, who's, you know, an undefeated team, and then Fort Dodge beat them up there, and Fort Dodge has shown that, you know, offensively for sure, they're one of the better teams in the state. So it's hard to compare scores, and it's hard to look at a team when you're preparing for them and get a whole lot out of what they did against like opponents. But I think Ames is a football team that, you know, our kids, this will be a good game for us because it's a competitive football team coming in for our last home game, and I think it'll be a good game.
Everybody healthy for your team and no major injuries?
No, I think from an injury standpoint, you know, at this point, we're pretty fortunate. When you go into week 8, we haven't had that injury that takes anybody down for the season. We in fact had a couple kids. Tinsley Wright, one of our kickers, you know, last week was the first week he got to kick. He had a hip injury that he had to basically just be inactive for about 6 weeks, and he came back. He just kicked extra points last week, but he's got a very strong leg, and with him and Cole Peterson, we've got 2 good kickers now, and that's always comforting to have somebody that you can send out there and kick a field goal. So we haven't lost any position players for the year that has been significant, but that's not unusual. It's usually when you get into these last couple of weeks and then you start and hit those playoff opponents back to back that sometimes you lose those kids and you have to be ready to fill in with somebody. That can either end your season or you can survive it. And that's what everybody's facing at this point.
My thanks to Valley head coach Gary Swenson. And we did not get a chance to connect with Ames coach Bruce Verdinen, but the Ames Little Cyclones coming into this game 5-2, 5 straight wins. Keith, they started the season with a very tough schedule, having to play Cedar Falls and Fort Dodge.
Yeah, Fort Dodge is off to a great start. They've had a slip here recently, but I think it's pretty tough on anybody if you're going to start off the season with Fort Dodge and Cedar Falls. Cedar Falls currently ranked number 2, I believe. And, yeah, so when you say that Ames is a 5-2 team, well, it's 5-2 with some pretty tough losses, and that's going to boost their RPI and keep them in the hunt for things.
Over their last 5 games, they've outscored their opponents 186-51.
It says a lot about their defense as well. You know, we talked about the offense being able to get things ignited, but their defense has been playing very salty. They have a pretty good track presence in their defensive backfield, as they do have the 100-meter and 200-meter state champion roaming around back there at the corner position.
Wow. All right. Well, this is the last regular season home game for Valley, so a big night for the seniors. 31 seniors on this Tiger football team introduced before the game, along with 3 managers and some others associated with the program.
Yes, a great senior class, a bunch of very, very hard workers. You've seen improvement from them all the way from freshmen up on through. They've hit the weight room. They're involved in several different sports as well. Out there at the coin toss right now, you can see Valley Ames at the midfield, and standing behind Valley, the Valley captains, is the 2008 state title team. We had the great fortune earlier today to have a few of those guys come up and talk to the freshmen. Zach Cutcomp, one of Valley's all-time great running backs. Jake Kerpus, a offensive lineman. David Barrett, offensive lineman, who went up to play at Michigan State. And Cody Redmond stopped by and talked to the team a little bit about the importance of not only being a great athlete, but being a great person. And if you can balance those two things out, that'll set you up for great potential in life. So great message. They also addressed the varsity team last night, and at that dinner it was a great success.
Well, 10 years ago, a state title for Valley. Of course, they won in 2011 as well. And this Tiger team hoping to become the next state champion in Class 4A. And they're well on their way with a 7-0 record and ready to kick off. Both of these teams in orange and black. So for those of you tuning in wondering which team is which, Valley in the black jerseys and Ames in the white jerseys. And this will be Valley kicking off. Cole Peterson with the kicking duties. We learned that Tinsley Wright returned to action last week and kicked some point afters, I think.
Yes, it was great to see Tinsley back on the field. He's a very good kicker and looking to continue that as college is approaching.
So Valley with 2 very good kickers. The Ames Little Cyclones, the big story is they're without their running back, Taman Lipsy. He's a freshman. He's out for the rest of the season. He was injured finger, as we understand, a couple games ago, and he's a star basketball player, just a freshman though, but he's going to be a star basketball player. He is not going to be playing the rest of the season at running back, and he's their touchdown leader. So here we go with Cooper Downs throwing a pass, incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10, just underway here at Valley Stadium.
If Ames makes good completions tonight, the game will go pretty fast. If there are incompletions, this game could slow down quite a bit, and that's one of the things that with this run-pass offense, they kind of control the speed of the game.
And almost sacked. Cooper Downs gets away, and he's running now, and he gets a couple yards. It'll bring up 3rd down and long. A number of players in on the tackle, including Carson Shelton. Cooper Downs, his running back, KK Domond, a junior who's getting time at the running back position now that Taman Lipsy is out. Here we go, 3rd down and 8 from their own 22. Downs in shotgun position, and that's Will Crappel in motion. Now the pass to Demond, and he's tackled short of the 1st down. It'll bring up a punt here for the Little Cyclones.
That was a fantastic screenplay set up. And one of the things you have to remember as a defensive lineman, if it's too easy, there's a reason for it. Valley moved upfield very quickly, but John Shaner came up out of that defensive backfield to make the gain just a 1-yard gain.
Jonah Strawhacker, the punter for the Cyclones, gets off a pretty nice boot. Taking it at his own 40 is the Valley Tiger, who's on the loose if he can keep his balance. Well, he has a great return regardless, down to the 25-yard line. That is Ryan New.
A fantastic return. Creighton Mitchell on that return there.
Sorry.
And sometimes, the very first time you run as hard as you can in cold weather, you're just not sure how your legs are going to respond. But I think they'll respond pretty well after that.
So, obviously, great field position for the Tigers at the 24-yard line of Ames. I want to tell you that Dar Danielson is down on the sideline. We'll get some reports from him coming up later. Here is a 1st down carry. Very close to another 1st down, actually about a yard short. I think that was Fugate.
Yeah, Trey Fugate, a very good start to the ball game. His legs seem to be under him just fine. Nice 9-yard gain.
Lombardi, Bo Lombardi, the senior quarterback, one of the 31 seniors introduced before the game, their final regular season home game. It is a 1st down for the Tigers. Let's see if we can get a sideline report from Dar Danielson now.
Talking to Bruce Vertinen before the game, he said the thing they want to try to avoid is a big surge here to start out, and right now this is a big play for the defense for Ames.
And it will be a touchdown for the Tigers. That is Trey Fugate into the end zone from 8 yards out, 6-0 Tigers.
3 straight runs. Trey Fugate, 6 points. It's not a bad average.
Valley with the early lead, and the point after attempt coming from Tinsley Wright, the senior kicker. Again, he just came back into the lineup last week for the first time. I think he had a hip injury. Is that right, Keith?
Yes, he did. A partial tear of something in there. They caught it early enough, and he got a little bit of season here toward the end. But hopefully college is still going to be in his future.
We'll keep it here for the kickoff coming. Valley with the 7-0 lead early on. Want to tell you that this high school football game on CISN.TV is brought to you by Mid-American Energy, a powerful energy resource. Also G&L Clothing. No matter the weather, we've got you covered. And everybody in the stands well covered tonight. Cloudy, 44 degrees to start this one. No wind. I guess that's the good thing. And no rain.
That is a good thing. There has been plenty of rain. I think it may have rained all around the world. There is just so much moisture out there right now. And it rained today. Just kind of cleared cleared off enough to be cloudy.
And even a little snow early this morning that I noticed some people saw.
A little bit more on Monday, they say.
Yep. Big kickoff. This will be into the end zone, and Ames will start their second possession on their own 20-yard line. Cooper Downs, again, the quarterback, some of his wide receivers that we'll be hearing from throughout the night. Will Craffle, the senior, he's 6'4", 195 pounds. Also, Gabe Ante will see him out there. Number 6, Nate Withers, Jonah Strawhacker. We mentioned his name. He's the punter. He's also a wide receiver along with Bernard Bell Jr. And then the line of Brady Woodsmall, Brian Cortez, Jake Schmidt, David Keenan, and Bryce Murgis. Here is Cooper Downs in the shotgun position with Domond behind him. He's passing and caught and dragged out of bounds. Looks like it was caught. It was. So now a second and short coming up.
Avery Bonacci out on the coverage, so back out of the backfield making that catch.
Just over 9 minutes to go in the first quarter. Here's a running play with not much room for Demond up the middle. Domond, a junior.
And has had a very nice season as filling in. He's a very good runner, strong runner. But you got to be pretty strong to get through 15 people seemingly. That hole plugged up quickly.
So here we go, 3rd and 3 for the Cyclones. And they will pass, and it's caught for a first down. Very difficult to see these white jerseys with the orange numbers tonight. But moving the chains for the first time tonight, the little Cyclones do.
Ames runs a pretty methodical offense here as they're just going to run these short pass routes, work their way to the chains, and then every now and again they'll throw something over the top as a surprise just to remind you to back off a little bit so they can keep their tempo rolling.
Downs rolling to the top side of your screen, and he's going to be dropped for a loss. Nick Butoff with the sack. The junior defensive end coming from the far side of the field. $11 yards to go on this second down. Downs throws out here to the near side to Nate Withers. And that was incomplete.
That is a very tough thing to do there as a wide receiver because the defense, if you catch the ball, great. You're going to continue moving up the field. If you drop the ball like that, the defense has no idea if it was a forward pass or a lateral. And so when the ball's on the ground, you better be on top of it. He was in a kind of a precarious position there as the defensive backfield came up to introduce themselves.
3rd down and 11. Cooper Downs running away from one tackle, another, and then has to throw it away. And that'll bring up 4th and 11 for the Little Cyclones.
That was a pretty athletic play there as he was swallowed up by 3 defensive linemen and was still able to get that ball off to preserve instead of punting 5 extra yards from behind the line of scrimmage.
Again, Creighton Mitchell and Ryan New back deep for the Tigers, and this is Mitchell again. This time he's not able to do much with that punt after a big return on the first punt that set up the Valley touchdown.
Those punt return guys, they got to have nerves of steel. It's people bearing down on them and make the catch. Sometimes it's just a success to hang on to the ball.
Yeah. So here we go, the Valley Tigers, their second possession. of the ball game. The first one ended with an 8-yard touchdown run from Trey Fugate. 7-0 Tigers with 7:15 to go in the first quarter. Up under center is Bo Lombardi. And Trey Fugate, bouncing off a few tackles, gets back to the line of scrimmage.
You know, we've talked over the course of the year the difference between Trey Fugate running last year and the year before and what he's doing this year. He took a shot on that run, and it bounced him back a good 3-4 yards. He kept his feet and got back into the positive side of things. A year or two ago, he might have just gone down.
Here's Lombardi with a pass out to Nicky Train. A few yards there. Will bring up third and still pretty long here, about 7 yards. Oh, maybe that was incomplete.
No, they called it a completion.
Okay,
but he was very close to the sideline there.
All right. That's Nate Wilcoxon bringing in the play, the fullback for the Tigers. He's in the backfield along with Lombardi and Fugate. Lombardi overshoots his receiver. And now fourth down coming up. It'll be a punt from Cole Peterson.
That was a very nice defensive series there by Ames. They had a great defensive push right off the first play to put Valley behind the chains. 2 incompletions, and it kept Valley back on their heels.
Bernard Bell and I think Jonah Strawhacker back deep for Ames to receive this punt from Peterson. A good punt. It is Strawhacker on the far side of the field. Gets rid of one tackler, and then he's knocked down to the ground at the 33-yard line.
That was quite a hit. You do have to be careful when you come up and make hits like that. Sometimes when you come up, deliver a blow, and then throw your hands toward the ball carrier, they're going to they could throw a flag on you for unnecessary roughness type things. Usually it doesn't matter how hard you hit someone as long as you've wrapped them up in a tackle. So just to lunge your body at somebody, that is all in the judgment of the official.
Well, fortunately, Jonah Strawhacker is okay, and this pass is thrown to him, but it's intercepted by the Valley defender. Our first big turnover of the game.
Roy Jensen coming in to make that interception. 2 defensive backs actually had their eye on it, but it sailed over the first one. Roy Jensen was on the deep receiver, and that just showed right there. It's going to be some tough moving for Ames offense if Valley's defensive backs are going to be covering all those receivers as well as they did on that defensive series.
So Valley takes over in Ames territory at the 38-yard line. Lombardi going deep for the end zone, and it is caught, not the end zone, but just short of it at the 2-yard line. Who got that catch?
That was Jack Johnson. And Jack Johnson played his route so well. He was able to get inside the defensive back and wall him off, keeping him to his backside. Lombardi threw a great pass leading him inside as there was no safety coverage over the top.
First and goal to go from the 2. Lombardi hands it off to Fugate, and he's wrapped up and dropped for a loss. Nice job there. It looks like Jacob Steyert on the tackle.
Very nice job by Steyert to get that tackle, and he had to hang on. Fugate actually rolled across the body and hadn't touched the ground yet. Sometimes, linebackers or the defensive player will let go, assuming he's down on the ground. But if he hasn't touched down on the ground, he might continue run.
Loss of a yard, second and goal from the 3. Fugate again. And, boy, nice job by the Ames defense, stopping him for no gain.
That was a great defensive push right up the middle. Cal Wild, 6'4", 258-pound defensive lineman, he was right there to meet Fugate, and, that's just not a fun wall to run into.
Will we see the Tigers pass here on 3rd and 3?
Well, they got their trips set out to the side. See if they can spread the defense out.
Bo in the shotgun. He is looking to the right side. Now he flips it to the runner coming backwards here. Creighton Mitchell knocked out of bounds. Ames is not fooled on that little trick play. And now 4th down, and it'll be about 2 yards, or, well, actually knocked out at the 3, so no gain, and great stand there by Ames to force the field goal attempt, it looks like.
Wasn't sure if we were watching Valley or Boise State on that. Little trickeration.
Tinsley Wright will kick this one. The holder is Braden Ketcher. Whoa, almost blocked on the edge there, but the field goal is good, giving Valley a 10-0 lead with 4:26 to go in the first quarter. A timeout on CISN.TV.
Why do I look for the seal? It's about trust. Whether I'm buying a car, hiring a contractor, finding a tax preparer, or an honest mechanic, the Better Business Bureau's seal means this business meets high standards. When I see the seal, I know I'll get what I pay for. No more taking chances and no more worries. And I feel good about supporting local businesses. My life is so much easier knowing I can always trust BBB accredited businesses. It pays to look for the seal. See for yourself at bbb.org/Iowa.
Let's go down to the sideline and hear from Dar Danielson.
Well, Ames did a much better job that time of penetrating in the middle of that Valley offensive line. And Valley tried to go outside there, but just a good play by Ames. And this is Ames really needed to get that stop here to kind of keep this close.
It is 10-0 Valley after that interception and a big pass play down to the 2-yard line, but then Ames holding them on the next 4 downs to a field goal. This is the 3rd possession for the Little Cyclones.
A nice kickoff there by Cole Peterson. If you're not going to drive it into the end zone for the touchback, it has to be a very high-hanging kick so that your kick coverage can get down there and get it covered. On this, they actually gained 2 yards because of how high the ball was kicked.
Our sideline reports from Dar Danielson tonight brought to you by Shields. Discover your passion. For the 3rd time, the Ames offense on the field, and here's a pass play from Cooper Downs to Jonah Strawhacker, overthrown, out of bounds, 2nd down and 10.
I'm not sure how long the game has actually gone on, but there's still 4 minutes left in the first.
A lot of incompletions here.
There's a few incompletions.
Cooper with 4 receivers and his running back, Domana. And no gain on this play.
I'm very impressed with Cooper on how he continues to carry out fakes. If he makes the handoff, he's still going to make the throwing motion toward his wide receivers. If he doesn't make the handoff, he will carry the fake out as long as he can, riding that running back, and then pull the ball and get it thrown out toward the receivers.
3rd down and 9 for the Little Cyclones. Fake to Domond again, and Cooper Downs will be sacked. And it looks like Jacob McCudden in on that one.
And most of his friends. A wonderful job up there by that defensive front 4. They've been playing well all year. They've grown together as a very good unit. And, yeah, it'll be very interesting to see how this season continues on for the defensive side of the ball.
Strawhacker, another punt. This one a little bit shorter and taken by Ryan New in Ames territory. Gets out of bounds at the, or that's Creighton Mitchell out of bounds at the 40-yard line.
You know, Creighton Mitchell's on the far sideline, or on the far side, the previous punts for punt return. Now he comes to this sideline, and they're still kicking it to him. That means they have to be afraid of Ryan New, right?
That could be. This is the third possession for Valley. They scored on their first two, an 8-yard touchdown run for Fugate and a field goal from Tinsley Wright. Here's Bo Lombardi handing off to Fugate, who breaks a couple tackles, gets across the line of scrimmage for maybe a 2-yard gain.
As fast as Valley's running backs are, you have to credit Ames' defensive line right now. They are really finding that ball well, and they're playing havoc. Of all the runs that Fugate has had tonight, I'd say 50% he's been initially contacted in the backfield.
Yep. So 2nd down and 8 Tigers. Wilcoxon now in at fullback, and Lombardi under center hands it off to Fugate. This time a big hole up the middle, very close to a first down.
Yeah, contact was made a little further downfield that time, and it showed. He had a full head of steam.
Yeah. It'll be 3rd down and less than 1. I'm guessing we'll see a quarterback sneak here. Nope. We'll see a flag or a timeout. Timeout Ames. We'll take it with them. This is high school football on CISN.TV.
Hi, I'm Chris from Fireplace Superstore. September and October are the best times of year to sit outside, and we still have a great selection of 2018 merchandise, like this OWLE Deep Seating group. Or maybe you'd prefer wicker, like this North Cape group. And fire pits. There's nothing better than sitting out on the deck in the fall with a nice fire going. But get here soon, because the sold tags are coming out quick, and you don't want to be too late. For great deals on great furniture, come to Fireplace Superstore.
(10-0) Valley as we begin play here in the second quarter at Valley Stadium in West Des Moines. Trey Fugate, an 8-yard touchdown run. Tinsley Wright, an 8-yard field goal after an interception by Roy Jensen. And this is a 3rd down and 1 play for Valley right here. It goes to Fugate, and he gets the first.
That was a tough run. Initially, he got through the line just fine, but was met very well, very fast, very hard. But Fugate able to fall forward and gain an extra yard after that.
Really the District 7 championship kind of on the line tonight. These two teams are 3-0 in the district. Here's a pass to Ryan New on the far side, a big gain for the Tigers.
A very good route run there by Ryan New. Just a quick out, but Ames corners are playing back far enough that it was wide open. He was able to gain those extra yards.
They're at the Ames 13-yard line, 1st and 10. Handoff to Fugate, who gets a couple yards on this carry. Fugate and Mitchell have combined for nearly now over 1,300 yards rushing on the season and 22 touchdowns through 7 games.
That's some pretty impressive stats. Both guys, great guys, and have worked extremely hard to get what they're getting done this year.
2nd down play. Bo Lombardi stepping up and gets a few yards. It'll bring up 3rd and about 3 now.
You know, a few years ago we were talking about Rocky Lombardi falling forward for just falling 4 yards, and Bo fell 4 yards.
Bo Lombardi, 6'3", senior, 230 pounds. Is that about what Rocky was at?
Rocky was just a little bit taller. He seemed to be about a foot taller.
All right. Another timeout on the field with 35 seconds to go in the first quarter. This is CISN.TV.
Miss your hometown clothing store? The one that had it all? Everything to get the work done, all in one place? G&L Clothing is your hometown Iowa store. Stop in and see us, or we're only a click or phone call away. Family owned for nearly a century. G&L Clothing, 1801 Ingersoll, Des Moines.
G&L Clothing. Your size, your style, we've got it all.
High school football on CISN.TV is brought to you by Godfather's Pizza, the official pizza of CISN.TV. Pat Curtis along with Keith Bornes and Dar Danielson bringing our Shields sideline reports tonight. It is 10-0 Valley and a big 3rd down and 4 yards to go for a first coming up here.
Ames defense has really been getting pretty solid here in the red zone.
This is Fugate running up the middle, close to the goal line. He's definitely got a first down. He'll be just short of the goal. It'll bring up 1st and goal from the 1.
On that particular play there, it looked like Fugate maybe lost control of the ball just a little bit, and it rolled forward into the end zone. I didn't know if they were going to call him down before he broke the line, or if the ball did get out and Fugate was able to recover it in the end zone. But 1st and goal from the 2 nonetheless.
I formation here with Wilcoxon and Trey Fugate in the end zone for his 2nd touchdown for the Tigers. With just a few ticks left on the clock before the end of the first quarter, it is 16-0 Valley, and the point after attempt coming here from Tinsley Wright.
Nice initial push by Valley's offensive line to get that touchdown. Controlling the line of scrimmage is going to be a key tonight. Forever's going to come out on top.
It's 17-0 Valley. We'll keep it here for the kickoff since we'll be coming to the end of the first quarter here shortly.
Well, if that's what we're going to do, Pat, it's shout-out time. I have fans. I have 2. Doug and Sue Buchanan. Hey, we love you here at Valley. Good to have you guys tuning in, and keep those positive thoughts rolling.
All right, thanks everybody for watching CISN.TV. We appreciate the viewership, and want to tell you high school football on CISN.TV is brought to you by Mid-American Energy, a powerful energy resource. Also G&L Clothing. No matter the weather, we've got you covered. Cole Peterson doing the kickoff duties while Tinsley Wright has been kicking the extra points and the 1 field goal. Booming kick to the goal line, and Ames will start at their 20-yard line. What do the Little Cyclones need to do to get this offense going?
They need to get – the offensive line has got to start controlling the line of scrimmage. They have a very good quarterback. They have very good wide receivers. But if he does not have time to set up and throw, it's going to be a very long night. And we can tell that by the first quarter. It was a 30-minute first quarter.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a long first quarter. And it's got everything to do with those incomplete passes.
Cooper Downs has been running for his life in this first quarter. He takes the snap here. He's got some good protection now and a short pass for a good gain on that first down play. That's the end of the first quarter. The score, Valley 17, Ames 0 on CISN.TV.
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury. Whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.
You want to get stronger, faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a stronger community.
17-0 Valley as we get ready to start the second quarter. And now this Shields sideline report with Dar Danielson.
Well, Valley's been controlling the offensive line, but also if you look at this, the receivers, they're giving them no room to get separation, to get open at all. So it's going to make it tough here on Ames to try to come back if that keeps up.
2nd and 3, a pass incomplete. 3rd down and 3 from their own 27.
You know, Dar talks about Valley's corners playing so tight to the receivers, which is true. Ames knows that's going to be happening, and that's also why they're trying to do those short passes and also trying to go inside a little bit. As you can see, the safeties are playing pretty far back.
Cooper Downs with the handoff, but a nice job by Jacob McCudden to bring him down, and for a loss, actually.
Yes, that was an incredible play by McCudden. He's really shown his athleticism for being a relatively big guy.
Listed 6'2", 280. He plans to play football in college. Here's another punt for the little Cyclones, and this time they'll kick it kind of away from Creighton Mitchell, almost out of bounds. Ryan New picking it up and taking it, and he's got a lot of room on that far side. Look out. He's got a blocker. Now all he's got is one guy to beat, and he's dragged out of bounds, maybe by the face mask. There you see the flag. So a big return, and it'll be even bigger because of that penalty.
Ryan New is going to get an interesting pat on the back because that is one of those plays where you advise him not to get the ball as it's been rolling around on the ground. But he did field it clean, and so the second pat on the back is going to be a little bit higher as, hey, nice job, good recovery there.
Let's see, about around 35 yards on that punt return. That Valley would have started in their own territory, I think, for the first time tonight, had he not done that.
Yeah, I think they're still trying to figure out what to do with the penalty here. We haven't actually seen anything or heard or seen a mark-off either. The flag is still on the ground over there, and I'm wondering if they're trying to figure out if it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard. Oh.
Oh,
well,
boy.
all that for naught. Holding on the return team, a face mask on the punt team. All that excitement? Well, maybe times two.
Nothing really happened, I guess.
Little time came off the clock. That was about it.
So again, Ryan New, Creighton Mitchell, also Carson Shelton back for the Tigers. And Jonah Strawhacker with another punt here after the offsetting penalties.
Coach Swenson not very impressed with the explanation, but the ready for play is about to be blown here.
Strawhacker, the left-footed boot, out of bounds. Let's see where they mark this out.
Yeah, watch the official's hand as he comes up the sideline.
At the 40-yard line.
Yeah, that's where the white hat actually spots the ball, watches it as it goes out of bounds, and then the side judge will bring his run up the field, and then as soon as the white hat drops his hand, that's where he's going to stop, and so the ball obviously went out of bounds at the 40, even though it appeared to be closer to the 27.
So Valley has scored, let's see, trying to think, have they scored on all their possessions, or did they have to punt their last?
They punted once.
Yep. Here's Trey Fugate with a 2-yard gain. Nice tackle there by, let's see here, Cal Wild, senior for Ames.
He's kind of found himself in the mix all night tonight. He said hello to Mr. Fugate early on in the first quarter that sent Fugate flying backward and got Valley behind the chains right away.
Bo Lombardi scrambling, looking for a receiver. He found one just near midfield, caught, but just short of a first down. Will bring up 3rd down and 2. Was that J.J. Gass on the catch?
J.J. Gass, senior. Nice catch.
Train and Wilcoxon into the game for this 3rd down call. Here's Fugate running on the left side, and he's wrapped up but breaks that tackle and gets the first down. So over that left side of Jake Remsburg and Mason Ayers.
Mosley had him wrapped up in the backfield. And, with the rule change, you can assist the runner now. And Bo Lombardi was over there getting ready to, and then Fugate just happened to break out of the clutches and fall forward.
9:25 left to go in the first half. Lombardi now rolling to the near side of the field and overshoots his receiver, I think, Creighton Mitchell. So it'll be 2nd down and 10 for the Tigers.
Pat, I don't know if you noticed this or not, but just a moment ago, right behind us, Mr. Tiger was in the press box. Victor E. Tiger. Not to be confused with Wile E. Coyote.
Victor E.
Victor E. Coyote.
Okay.
Or Victor E. Tiger, excuse me.
Lombardi fakes a pass to Mitchell, now throws to Fugate, who has a lot of room to run here. And it'll be a first down for the Tigers down to the Ames 25.
Earlier in the first quarter, we saw Ames set up a very nice screen of themselves, but Valley linebacker, or John Shaner, the defensive back, was able to come up and sniff that out. Valley set up a very nice screen here. It was actually a double screen, and so they found Fugate coming off to the left-hand side or the far side of the field.
1st and 10 from the Ames 25. Bo Lombardi passing over to the far side of the field and breaking a few tackles and getting a first down to the 10. Jack Johnson.
Jack Johnson, the junior, has really stepped up this year. He had a very good season last year on the sophomore team. Came in and made his presence known right away. Valley has a pretty deep wide receiver core that all came back, and Jack Johnson, well, I'll just step right in here and play a little football.
Here's the handoff to Fugate, running toward the end zone, and his 3rd touchdown for the Tigers, but hold on, we have a flag in the area that holding might be called.
Yeah. It certainly appears as though it could be a hold. It came from the back judge and also the referee there, as it was, they both threw it pretty far.
So the block below the waist is the one that's accepted by Ames, obviously, and that touchdown brought back now to the 25-yard line, or 20. Yeah, looks like it'll be even farther than that.
Yeah. 1st and goal from the 29-yard line. It's not every day that you have a 1st and goal play dialed up for 29 yards. But make no mistake, it's not the furthest 1st and goal I've ever seen.
Lombardi passes to Mitchell. And he's back to the 10-yard line. 2nd down and goal to go for the Tigers.
You wouldn't think that when you're 1st and 20, or when you're sitting 2nd and 10, or 2nd and goal from the 10, that you had a great first play. But you're almost back ahead of the chains already.
Under 8 minutes to go in this first half. It's Valley 17, Ames 0. And the Tigers threatening to score here again. Lombardi shotgun with Fugate behind him. The handoff to Fugate. And he's across the 5. It'll bring up 3rd and goal from maybe the 4.
Anywhere else on the field, we would call this 3rd and manageable. 3rd and short is anything from 3 yards in. Manageable is from 5 to about 3 yards. 3rd and long is 5+.
Nicky Train comes in. Creighton Mitchell out on this 3rd and goal from the 5. Lombardi passing. He's got Wilcoxon for a 5-yard touchdown pass.
He actually had 2 receivers that were both wide open on that. Wilcoxon, who is one of Valley's leading receivers on the year. Nicky Train also was able to leave his tight end position from the near side and loop all the way back around to the far side where he was wide open as well.
And the point after good, it's Valley 24, Ames 0 on CISN.TV.
Hi, I'm Chris from Fireplace Superstore. September and October are the best times of year to sit outside, and we still have a great selection of 2018 merchandise, like this OWLE Deep Seating group. Or maybe you'd prefer wicker, like this North Cape group. And fire pits. There's nothing better than sitting out on the deck in the fall with a nice fire going. But get here soon, because the sold tags are coming out quick, and you don't want to be too late.
For great deals on great furniture, come to Fireplace Superstore.
24-0 Valley, 7 minutes to go in the first half. A 5-yard touchdown pass from Bo Lombardi to Nate Wilcoxon for Valley's latest score. They scored on 2 touchdown runs from Trey Fugate and a field goal from Tinsley Wright in the first quarter. And this is Wright with the kickoff now. We've seen Cole Peterson do the kickoff duties earlier, I think, and this is the first one we've seen from Tinsley Wright. And it's taken up at the 10-yard line and out to the 25, 29, close to the 30 for Ames.
And this very well could be their best starting position.
It looks like that was Bernard Bell Jr., or excuse me, Gabe Ante on the return, number 6, if I caught the number right. Cooper Downs shotgun right now with the running back Domond. Downs will throw it to Domond, and he has about a 5-yard gain out to the 35.
That was a slow developing play that worked out very well because Ames' offensive line was able to give some protection. Everything was looking over to the near side of the field as they were setting up. They had 2 receivers stacked up, and they just slowly brought the back out of the backfield for a very nice gain.
2nd down and 4, we'll call it, from the 36. Downs shotgun, rolling to the near side and caught for a first down out of bounds. Let's see, I believe the receiver might be Nate Withers. Number 11, maybe the smallest guy on the field. 5'6", 125, that's what he's listed.
Ran a very nice route, made a great catch. And, you know, one of the ways to combat a defensive line that is getting some good penetration into the offensive backfield, get out of the pocket and throw on the run.
All right, Ames moving the ball here. Here's a handoff and nowhere to go for Domond. It'll be 2nd and long, or 2nd and 10, I should say. Logan Kruzman on the tackle, another senior on that Valley defense. Logan, I'm reading here, plans to go to Iowa or Iowa State. It would seem you would know which one you're, could make a choice between those two. Here is a 2nd down play for the Tigers and a pretty big gain coming up near midfield, or I should say for Ames. That is Cooper Downs keeping the ball, and it'll bring up 2nd down and about 3rd down and 3 to go for a first.
One of the problems with a very good pass rush is when you get upfield too far and miss the tackle, there's usually not very many people between you and another extra 5 yards of field.
Big play here, 3rd and 3 for the Tigers.
Ran out of time.
Yep. So this will move Ames back, obviously.
Yeah, negates that 5-yard gain they had before.
High school football on CISN.TV, brought to you by Godfather's Pizza, the official pizza of CISN.TV. Also Shields, discover your passion. Here we go, 3rd down and 8 from their own 44. Cooper Downs, shotgun, looking at downfield. He's got a receiver open and caught across midfield, and it looks like Gabe Ante with the catch to the Valley 45.
That catch took a little bravery. Anytime you're going to go across the middle, you're kind of in hopes that the ball comes to you after you've cleared the middle, and he still took a pretty good shot there at the end.
So the best drive of the night here for the Little Cyclones. Cooper throws this one away.
Don't look now, but Josh Waymeyer, the guru of the Valley March Masters, stepped into the press box. I think they're getting ready for another fantastic halftime performance as they are gearing up for, I believe, state competition is coming up here in the next tomorrow. How about that?
Cooper Downs with the pass out of the hands of Gabe Ante. It'll be 3rd down and 10. Speaking of halftime, we'll have a guest too, right, Keith?
Yes, Tom Trigstead, the Valley girls and boys cross-country head coach and the boys track coach, will be in talking a little bit about cross-country.
Before that, we've got 4 minutes to go in the first half, and Ames driving here, but now facing 3rd and 10. But a receiver open. This is Ante with a nice sharp pass from Cooper Downs and a big, boy, let's see, 25-yard gain on that pass play.
That play is set up by Valley or Ames offensive line, giving plenty of protection. When you put 5 receivers out into the downfield or into pass routes, somebody's going to break open eventually. So it's a question of how much time do you have to pick them apart.
Downs' pass intended for Dumond, but off his chest and nearly intercepted.
A little more pressure on that by defensive line.
He's doing commentary.
Second down and 10, Ames from the Valley 26. This drive started from the Ames 25, 26-yard line, I think. Downs again, shotgun, looking to pass once again. He's got a receiver, almost very dangerous pass there. Good defense by Carson Shelton. Incomplete, 3rd and 10 coming up.
Carson Shelton coming out of that linebacker position as he dropped into his hook and curl zone. Did a nice job breaking that up. But you have to be impressed with Cooper Downs. He is reading the field very well. When he has time to throw, he's extremely accurate. When he's got a little bit of time to throw, he's pretty accurate. And when he's under pressure, he still throws well.
This one overshoots the receiver, but might be a pass interference call here. There is a flag down. That was 3rd and 10, so big call right now.
The fans in the Valley stands will tell you that they're expecting a pass interference, which it is.
All right.
And so, yes, big first down.
As you may have heard, half the distance to the goal, so this takes it down to the Valley 14, 13-yard line. And this drive just keeps on going for the Little Cyclones.
Usually, your defense wants to have a long, sustained drive by the offense because usually the offense makes a mistake first. In this case, Ames is putting together a great drive, and Valley made some mistakes.
Basically the same play there. Cooper Downs trying to hit Will Craffle, but overshoots him in the corner of the end zone. It'll be 2nd down and 10 from the 13-yard line. That's the first time we've really called Craffle's name. He's a big target, 6'4", 195.
And he's not just a football player, a very good high hurdler for Ames. Had a very good spring last year. I know that Coach Dewey is expecting great things from him again this spring, as he is several of the football players, as both teams are a track-heavy team.
2nd down and 10 for Ames. Into the end zone and incomplete. That was intended, I believe, for Ante. It'll be 3rd down and 10 now from the Tigers' 13-yard line.
The incompletion there was definitely made by the surge that the Valley's defensive line was able to generate there. Coverage has been pretty good, but Cooper Downs is extremely accurate with his throws.
And this pass incomplete as the Tigers brought pressure from number 17, Bracken Cobb. And I think this will be Will Orth for a field goal attempt as Ames tries to put some points on the board here in the first half. They've been shut out so far. That was definitely their best drive of the game.
And ate up some clock.
This is a 30-yard attempt by the junior kicker.
And it was blocked.
Somebody got a hand on it. No good.
Just enough to take a little bit off, and he came up a little shy.
All right, so our score remains 24-0 Valley, and the Tigers will take over with 3:10 to go in the first half. We'll keep it here for right now, and let's see if we can send it down to the sideline and the Shields sideline report with Dar Danielson.
I did not see any penalty on that play with Craffle there. It looked like he was going to run out of bounds, and then they called that. And then on the field goal kick there, just great pressure, and that forced the miss there. Good pressure inside, and the kicker just pulled that one.
All right, so from what Dar could see on the sideline, maybe nobody got a hand on that. But the pressure may have forced the kicker to alter kind of where he was going with that. But here's an incomplete pass for Valley. Creighton Mitchell, the intended target.
Gannon White on the coverage there. And, you know, this is what I like to see after a play like that. Gannon White helping Creighton Mitchell up off the ground and then helping him adjust his jersey back onto the shoulder pad. That is a great display of sportsmanship. You got to like to see that.
Lombardi back to pass, and he's got a receiver open, J.J. Gass on the far side, but just out of his reach. It'll be third down.
Let him just a little bit too much. It was almost intercepted, but that ball was moving fast enough. It bounced off the shoulder pads, right off his chest, and fell incomplete.
So third down and 10. Under 3 minutes to go now in the first half. Lombardi alone in the backfield now, but throws out to Fugate, who dodges one tackler, who comes back and gets him after a 5-yard pickup. But it'll be 4th and 5. So a punt coming now from Valley.
Interesting story about Bo Lombardi. When he was in 8th grade, over at Indian Hills, they have a dunk take at the end of the year, and sometimes teachers will go in and the athletes or anybody can pay $1 and try and get a ball or something to throw. Here's a punt.
Cole Peterson with a big booming spiral punt. Caught at the Ames 35, and a pretty nice return for Gabe Ante. Continue.
So Bo puts his $1 in, gets 3 balls to throw at, I think Mr. Tudor was in the dunk tank at the time. He couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. It's like a baseball or a softball was a foreign object to him. So I was in charge of the dunk tank, so he maybe got in a few extra throws. Somebody threw him a football, and he hit it 3 times in a row.
Now I was looking at, they have a kind of class of 2019 booklet here that I picked up that has some information about all the seniors, and there was a note here about Bo that he hopes to go pro in golf. So pretty good golfer, or?
Well, if he is, he's never shared the love in the neighborhood and said, hey, Coach Bornas, we should go play golf. I do know that both he and Rocky can hit a golf ball pretty far.
Yeah. Second down and 10 for the Ames Little Cyclones here. They're at their own 47-yard line. A good punt return and pretty good field position. Ames moved the ball well their last possession, and now they've got a first down and more for Domond. And we're now under 2 minutes to go in the first half. Ames still trying to get on the scoreboard.
That screen pass was set up beautifully, and Valley better get set. Ames is on the ball. The only reason Valley had a chance to stop that, the officials held up progress for Ames.
Good protection. Cooper Downs overshoots his receiver, though. And it'll be second down and 10 from the Tigers' 36-yard line.
Yeah, Ames was in the hurry-up offense, and Valley was still trying to help. Didn't see if it was McCudden or Bonacci that had his shirt off the shoulder pad.
So Ames almost exclusive passing plays here, their last few possessions, and this one incomplete to Gabe Ante. They had it set up for maybe a decent gain, but just couldn't connect.
There was a little pressure coming from the backside here. Logan Kruzman was, he was on the move, bearing down pretty hard. That's one of those things as a quarterback on your blind side. You got to have a pretty good awareness of or a good feel for what's going on.
Cooper Downs on 3rd and 10 will scramble, and he'll run out of bounds at the 34-yard line. Well short, obviously, of a first down. It'll bring up 4th and long here, and they might be in a position where they'll just go for it with 1:37 to go in the first half.
Well, bring up a 51-yard field goal attempt if they didn't, so this is your certainly your best option here.
Downs looking downfield, being pressured, maybe a hold, no hold called, and now a receiver gets open, and did he get into the end zone? It's called a touchdown. A violent collision right at the goal line. Hopefully everyone's okay.
Now
they're
they did throw a flag, so we'll see what happens.
Holding. It did look like Nick Butoff or Cruzman, I'm not sure which, was getting held.
I think it was McCudden.
Okay.
His jersey was kind of being pulled back a little bit. But, wow, what a collision at the goal line.
Everybody is up and okay, it would appear, in what would have been a touchdown, although if there had not been the holding, there probably would have been a quarterback sack.
Yeah. And you have to think that when that hold was going on and it wasn't being called right away, the sideline here on the near side, I think they were a little up in arms there for a little bit.
Yeah, I was surprised the flag didn't come out a little sooner. So now obviously Ames will punt now that it's 4th and 25. Strawhacker, or I believe that's Strawhacker punting still, and it goes off the side of his foot.
I think you're going to see the side official go up the field quite a ways here. Watch the hand. Comes down on the 46-yard line.
All right.
So that was a net of 3 yards.
So Valley has 1:22 to work with, and they have all 3 of their timeouts, already leading 24-0. Again, coming up at halftime, we've got Tom Trigstad, one of our guests at halftime, the Valley boys and girls cross country coach, also the boys track coach. Here's Bo Lombardi faking the handoff, and a completed pass to J.J. Gass, a first down.
Nice job by Gass, just setting up there in the right in between the safeties. Got just beyond the linebackers, kind of in that empty zone there. Valley trying to run quickly.
Ryan New is in the open, but there's a flag back here on the 50-yard line.
That play was very well designed as Valley is now trying to pick up the tempo a little bit. Bo Lombardi saying, fellas, that's on us. Let's get back here so we can get on the ball quick, preserve as much time as possible, as it's going to be a first down and a bunch now.
Wow. A lot of big plays in this first half negated by penalties.
Yeah, you take a look at this. Ryan New was stopped about the 8-yard line. The hold happened at the 50-yard line. You back it up an additional 10 yards. That is a 52-yard penalty when you add everything in.
All right. 1st and 25, Valley from their own 40. Lombardi has a receiver open and across midfield, knocked out of bounds at the 45 of Ames. That's Creighton Mitchell. That stops the clock. Again, Valley has 3 timeouts with 54 seconds to go in the first half. Pass complete to Ryan New and out of bounds again after a 7-yard pickup.
That was a very
Johnson.
long throw for 7 yards. When you're on the near hash and he catches it on the far numbers, that's a long throw.
Correction, Jack Johnson on the catch. Here's Trey Fugate with a first down carry. Clock moving, 41 seconds. Now it stops. Timeout. No timeout, I should say. But
Now
the clock stops to move the chains.
And now it's running.
First and 10 Valley at the Ames 34. Here's Creighton Mitchell. He's got some room. He can get out of bounds at the 21 with 28 seconds to go in the first half.
I think his legs warmed up. That initial punt return, we're not sure where all the blood in his legs went, but it certainly seems to be back now.
First and 10. Valley looking to add to their 24-0 lead. Lombardi pumps. Now looks to the end zone for Johnson. Did he catch it? Incomplete.
What an effort. You have to give Bo Lombardi a lot of credit on that, as he is on the run, throwing off balance as it travels about, we'll call it 30 yards down the field to the back of the end zone. Jack Johnson trying to make another acrobatic catch in that corner. Made one earlier this year in the first game of the year.
Yeah, one of the best catches we've seen this year.
That's right.
Against Southeast Polk. So second and 10, again Lombardi. It looks like it's caught at the 12-yard line. Ryan New with a nice job keeping his toes in bounds and hanging onto the ball and stopping the clock now. Just short of the first, though. It's 3rd and 1. 16 seconds left.
Valley doing a very nice job using the sidelines.
Lombardi fumbles the snap, but finds Ryan New, who's out at the 10. That's a first down.
I don't know if it was drawn up that way in the playbook or not.
No.
But sometimes if the bounce is going your way, just turn and throw it.
So 11 seconds left. First and 10. Actually, first and goal from the 10. So Lombardi takes the snap, gives it to Fugate, and he's into the end zone for his 3rd touchdown. Trey Fugate. And what a great job managing the clock.
Yes.
And just everybody calm, getting out of bounds. Great job by the Tigers to put more points on the board late in this first half.
Up and good.
It's good. That makes the score 31-0. With just 7 seconds left to go, we'll keep it here and see this kickoff before we get to halftime. So Trey Fugate with touchdown runs of 8, 1, and 10 yards. Also, Bo Lombardi, a 5-yard pass to Wilcoxon. That was the other touchdown for Valley, and a short field goal by Tinsley Wright in the first quarter. That's good for 31 points for Valley here in the first half.
1 hour and 12 minutes of football, and on the clock, 24 minutes.
A lot of penalties and incomplete passes.
Yeah, and scores now too.
Cole Peterson kicking this one off. Down to the 5. And still 1 second, so Ames will have to snap the ball here. before we get to halftime.
I did think that was a great kick by Cole Peterson. You don't want to kick it into the end zone to give Ames one play. Let him run around on the field a little bit. Hopefully, you'd think 7 seconds could run off the clock. But as it stands, only 6.3 ran off the clock. So Ames does get one play if they want to use it, but they're lining up for an apparent kneel down.
Our score at halftime, Valley 31, Ames 0. Back with a recap of the first half after this on CISN.TV.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise and your lights will go on. That's because at Mid-American Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Great price, great selection, great experience. That's what people expect today. What isn't expected is how hard we work after the sale to keep your business. Hard work, honesty, integrity, discipline, trust, character. These core values are why we grow every year and why we continue to acquire more dealerships. Experience the Schottenkirk way of doing business and come visit our new Ford dealership in Indianola.
Building a strong community doesn't happen overnight. It takes a vision for the future, the ability to turn a challenge into a success, and individuals who inspire new generations of growth. Greater Des Moines has done a lot of growing over the years, and so have we. At Brick Gentry Law, your success is something that we create together. Thank you for making us a part of your community. Thank you for 50 years.
We're at halftime. It's Valley 31, Ames 0. Here at Valley Stadium in West Des Moines, the final regular season home game for the Tigers. Of course, we'll probably see a couple of playoff games here at Valley Stadium. But let's recap the first half. Keith Bornes, I'm Pat Curtis. Keith, tell me about the first half. What was the difference for the Tigers jumping out to this 31-0 lead?
Spreading the ball around. They did a great job moving the ball around to several receivers. They were able to control the line of scrimmage, giving Bo Lombardi plenty of time to pass the ball. The pass was able to set up the run. They got the ball moving with Fugate and Creighton Mitchell. And because so many different people were able to touch the ball, they could kind of dictate what the defense was going to be doing. And when you can kind of control, hey, Ames is going to start doing this on defense, then you got a better idea of where you're going to end up taking the ball. And Valley did a great job, but you got to give a lot of credit to that offensive line. And on the defensive side of the ball, it's that pass rush that has really taken Cooper Downs out of his game. He is an exceptional quarterback, got great accuracy, but that pass rush, those four defensive line guys up front have done a great job keeping them off balance.
Yep, Nick Butoff, C.J. Stillman, Jacob McCudden, Logan Kruzman, all putting a lot of pressure on Cooper Downs. Downs just a junior, his first year starting at quarterback, so He'll be back next year, but obviously still thinking about this season. The little Cyclones put together a good drive, but just missed a 30-yard field goal attempt with 3 minutes to go in the second quarter. So Ames remains shut out here in the first half. Again, 31-0 is our score. And recapping our scoring, it's Trey Fugate with 3 touchdown runs, 8 yards, also a 1-yard dive, both of those in the first quarter. Also Tinsley Wright, a short field goal. That made it 17-0 at the end of the first quarter. Bo Lombardi to Wilcoxon, a 5-yard touchdown pass, and then Fugate, that 10-yard touchdown run with just 7 seconds to go in the first half. That's our score, 31-0. We'll take a timeout, back in just a few minutes on CISN.TV.
Why do I look for the seal? It's about trust.
I guess we weren't on camera at all.
Hiring a contractor, finding a tax preparer, or an honest mechanic. The Better Business Bureau seal means this business meets high standards. When I see the seal, I know I'll get what I pay for. No more taking chances and no more worries. And I feel good about supporting local businesses. My life is so much easier knowing I can always trust BBB accredited businesses. It pays to look for the seal. See for yourself at bbb.org/Iowa.
Miss your hometown clothing store? The one that had it all? Everything to get the work done, all in one place? G&L Clothing is your hometown Iowa store. Stop in and see us. Or we're only a click or phone call away. Family owned for nearly a century. G&L Clothing. 1801 Ingersoll, Des Moines.
G&L Clothing. Your size, your style, we've got it all.
With my
Welcome back to Valley Stadium in West Des Moines. I'm Pat Curtis, joined by Valley cross-country coach Tom Trigstad. And Tom, you've got districts coming up, right?
We do. We just had conference this last night, and so this next week we head up over to Council Bluffs, our girls and boys, and we're looking forward to our boys team has gone to state for 15 years in a row, and it's been a few years for our girls, and right now our girls are ranked sixth in the state, so we're excited to get after it, and as we talk about, we're in the championship phase of the season.
Wow. And where are you running at in Council Bluffs?
We're at they run the cross-country course at Southwestern Community College there, right there in Council Bluffs, so. For Iowa Western. Iowa Western.
Iowa Western. All right. And how you mentioned the girls, number 6 in the state. How have the boys been doing?
Most this year we've been in the top 10. Right now, this last week we were ranked number 12. We had conference last night. Both our boys and girls teams finished 3rd in conference. On the girls' side, Waukee and Southeast Polk got us, but they're ranked 2nd and 3rd in the state, so it was quite a battle. We had 5 girls that were all named all-conference, and that's the first time I think in 10 years. On the boys' side, we had 3 kids that were named all-conference.
Wow, congratulations. Talk about some of your seniors then that are wrapping up their final season.
So on the girls' side, Helen Gould, she's a 2-time all-state runner in cross-country and track. She finished 2nd, I believe, in the 1500. So outstanding leader for us, outstanding kid, outstanding runner. We also have Emily Ash and Haley Losh are girls that run varsity for us, the seniors. Great kids that they're really excited to try to finish off strong and get back to state as a team. And on the boys' side, we're sort of a 3-headed horse of Evan Armitage, and he's a kid that was on our 4x8 in cross country at the state meet, and him and Richie Salas and Tyler Kenny are our 3 varsity kids that are our seniors on the team.
All right. You're also the boys' track coach, and I bet it's a lot of fun for you watching this football team all season.
Well, it is. It's also nerve-wracking. We don't want anyone to get hurt, but we're excited. Our track staff takes great pride in. We look out there and you see all of our skill position guys. You see out there, they ran track, and a lot of those guys have been a part of back-to-back state championship teams. So it's something that is exciting to see how our kids are multi-sport athletes, and Gary and I have a great relationship, and it's just really exciting to see guys out there. Even guys like Bo Lombardi, you know, and Jake Rensburg. Those are guys that are throwers for us, and they went to state last year as well. So it's exciting to see, and we hope they finish off strong here in football.
Who are, you mentioned a few names there, but who are some of your track studs that play football?
Trey Fugate, Creighton Mitchell. You see him running up and down, you know, Ryan New, J.J. Gass, Parker Marshall, John Shaner. John Shaner's a kid that, you know, was a 3-time elite all-state runner this year for us. You know, so those kids are contributed great runners. But what's interesting about our track program is I was told a really interesting stat is we've won – that it's never maybe been done before that we've won back-to-back state titles, and in all those events in those 2 seasons, we only won one relay title. Wow. So we take great pride in the fact that our kids, you know, compete as a team. We don't have 1-2 individual superstars, and that's sort of the same approach that the football program has. And Bo would tell you is they're just grinders. They're going to go out and try to improve, get better every day, and methodically go down the field and win. And so we started that same approach on the track.
All right. Tom Trigstad, the cross-country and boys track coach here at Valley. Thanks for joining us here at halftime.
Thanks.
We'll be right back on CISN.TV.
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury. Whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.
There's no doubt about it. Saving feels great. At Mid-American Energy, we love saving too. Saving the environment by supporting tree planting, which improves air quality. Saving money by investing in wind energy, which keeps rates low. And saving you energy by providing tips to help make your home more energy efficient. Which means you can take those savings and put your energy into having fun. Saving definitely feels great. So does being obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
We're at halftime. It's Valley 31, Ames 0. The final regular season home game for the Tigers as we watch the March Masters down on the field. And I think we heard earlier they've got a big competition tomorrow.
They do. The state competition is tomorrow, and Valley March Masters is the school with the longest consecutive Division I rating when it comes to marching band competition. So we certainly wish them the best of luck. The show looks fantastic, very well choreographed, and they look to be on top of their game right now. Valley Fest was very successful in and out of those rain showers last weekend. I was talking with Bill Bird. He is now the band director at Indian Hills Junior High. He continues to help out with the March Masters as well. Said it was a very long day. They got most people got here at 6 a.m. and left at 1 a.m.
Wow.
On Sunday after a very long day of competition. It was a very successful Valley Fest this year, and a lot of teams came in. So we're looking forward to what they bring home tomorrow.
Where is that competition tomorrow?
Well, I feel like they're in Ames at some point tomorrow. I don't know if that's where the state competition is, but I think they're doing 2 shows, doing the state competition and then going someplace else to perform after that.
Okay, so long day tomorrow for this marching band after a big performance again here tonight at halftime. Want to remind you that high school football on CISN.TV is brought to you by Mid-American Energy, a powerful energy resource. Also, G&L Clothing. No matter the weather, we've got you covered. G&L Clothing, speaking of the weather, it's a cold night here at Valley Stadium, 44 degrees, but really no wind to speak of, and aside from the cold, the weather not much of a factor in the first half.
Well, right, and on the field, when you're going as fast as you can go, the weather really doesn't bother you. You go into the locker room at halftime and say, oh, the skin on my arms is a little bit cold, but you don't feel cold. That blood is moving around pretty well. Guy standing on the sideline, that's a little different story.
Yeah. Again, we're at halftime. It's Valley 31, Ames 0. Let's take a timeout right here. This is CISN.TV.
The other guys, they think they know what special means. At Godfather's Pizza, we do special, and we do it better. We add the T. There's a Godfather specialty pizza with your name on it. Classic combo, all meat combo, hot stuff, taco, yeah, even veggie and more. All of them piled high with the best toppings and 100% real cheese. Treat yourself special. Order specialty pizzas from Godfather's Pizza.
Okay, ladies, it's October and we all know what that means. Time for our annual mammograms. Iowa Radiology believes that mammograms are the best way to catch breast cancers early and save lives. With 3D and low-dose technology, they are now more accurate and safe. It's only once a year, and if you don't do it for yourself, do it for your daughters, your friend, your sons, or your family. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule an appointment. Iowa Radiology. Our focus is your good health.
You want to get stronger, faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a stronger community.
Hi, I'm Chris from Fireplace Superstore. September and October are the best times of year to sit outside, and we still have a great selection of 2018 merchandise, like this OWE Deep Seating Group. Or maybe you'd prefer wicker, like this North Cape group. And fire pits. There's nothing better than sitting out on the deck in the fall with a nice fire going. But get here soon, because the sold tags are coming out quick, and you don't want to be too late.
For great deals on great furniture, come to Fireplace Superstore.
Miss your hometown clothing store, the one that had it all? Everything to get the work done, all in one place? G&L Clothing is your hometown Iowa store. Stop in and see us, or we're only a click or phone call away. Family owned for nearly a century. G&L Clothing, 1801 Ingersoll, Des Moines.
G&L Clothing, your size, your style, we've got it all.
Why do I look for the seal? It's about trust. Whether I'm buying a car, hiring a contractor, finding a tax preparer, or an honest mechanic, the Better Business Bureau seal means this business meets high standards. When I see the seal, I know I'll get what I pay for. No more taking chances and no more worries. And I feel good about supporting local businesses. My life is so much easier knowing I can always trust BBB accredited businesses. It pays to look for the seal. See for yourself at bbb.org/Iowa.
It's Valley 31, Ames 0 here at halftime at Valley Stadium. Pat Curtis and Keith Bornas with the call here on CISN.TV. Keith, we're getting closer and closer to playoff time. Next week, Valley travels to Des Moines North, and I wanted to get your thoughts. It's been several weeks now since Valley's had a, I guess on the scoreboard anyway, a real close ball game.
Well, and I do appreciate the way that you said on the scoreboard. Every game has its battles. Ames has been into the backfield tonight quite a bit. They've had some great hits on running backs and doing some good coverage. But you're right. The lopsided scores have kind of shown that the consistency has at least been on Valley's side. As we continue to move into this, it's going to be very interesting to see how the playoff pairings start going. The way it's going to work out, and the Des Moines Register had an article a couple of weeks ago on how the RPI works, but there are in 4A, there are 7 districts. And so the 7 district winners, and if there's a tie, it could be 8 district winners. If it's multiple ties, it could be 9 or 10 district winners. They're automatically guaranteed in, no matter how many ties there are. And then whatever is left, it's going to be decided on this RPI, which is your overall record, your opponent's win-loss record, and your opponent's opponent overall record. And so it's kind of a confusing thing for a lot of us, as this is the first year they're doing it. But people are confused as to whether or not it is just the RPI that is going to determine who's in after the district winners, and then after that they seed it out, or if it's going to be the RPI that will also seed the playoffs as well. So if anybody has the answer to that, let us know.
Well, this Ames team, 5-2 record, 3-0 in district play coming into tonight. They're a number 12 RPI. Valley, I think I saw number 3.
Yeah.
Even though they're ranked, number 1 in all the polls. But that'll be determined, I guess, coming up. Again, Valley travels to Des Moines North to end the season next week. And this Ames team, what should be a good football game next Friday Ames will be at home against Urbandale.
Yes.
Big game, obviously.
Very big game. Urbandale does have a very talented squad. They have great skilled players. The one spot that they were struggling with was being able to control the line of scrimmage. But if you remember, we were talking about, especially on special teams, Urbandale wants to be able to do the kickoff returns, the punt returns. They don't want to let the ball hit the ground and go into the end zone. They want to set up returns and utilize the very fast skill players that they have. And Ames has great skill players. They do have a little bit bigger line than Urbandale. So it's going to be a very interesting matchup next week for them. And that should be what decides if this game continues to go as it is. Next week's game between Ames and Urbandale would set up the second place finisher.
All right. As you look at the field, you can see they're introducing, I'm guessing, the seniors that are part of the March Masters, and this is just kind of a senior night all the way around. The football players introduced with their parents before the game, also the managers and cheerleaders, and just a great night of honoring all these students that have been at Valley for 4 years.
And we certainly appreciate everything that they have done. They have set the tempo for what good classes look like and what other classes should aspire to do as far as being stewards both athletically and academically. So many, many thanks out to all of the seniors.
And again, as we mentioned, this won't be the last time these seniors will step on this field. Definitely at least one game more here in the first round of the playoffs. And the way it's looking, Keith, we talked earlier tonight kind of off the air, I think it's quite possible in the second round Dowling will be coming here for just a huge football game here in Des Moines.
Yeah. It'll be, as we said, it's going to be very interesting to see what the state does as far as setting up the seeding for the playoffs. But one thing is for sure, CISN will be covering the first 2 rounds. And so as long as Valley is here, we'll be here.
That's right. Valley and Dowling met in the second game of the season. As most of you remember, Dowling was ranked number 1 at the time, but Valley winning that one at Drake Stadium 20-6. All right, here we go. We're ready for the second half and the kickoff coming from Jonah Strawhacker. Valley leading 31-0 after the first half. And here's an interesting kick into kind of where no Valley player, where I guess it's sort of an onside kick, would you call it? Or
Yeah.
I mean, they were definitely trying to recover that.
It's the same thing, same concept as an onside kick, but it's a pooch kick. As you line up in onside formation and the kick return team sets up to adjust for that, expecting the ball to be on the ground, you pooch kick over the top of it to where nobody is, and then it's just a race to the ball. And in that case, in this kickoff here, Ames just ended up kicking it out of bounds. It rolled a little bit too far.
So Valley starts the second half with the ball on their own 27. First down and 10, Bo Lombardi. And I formation, this is Fugate getting the carry, and he's got some running room across to about the 34-yard line, a 5-yard gain. We're going to see Dar Danielson is doing our Shields sideline reports, and they honored the 2008 state championship football team, and he's hopefully going to have some guests from that team, possibly during the second half on the sideline. So stay tuned for that. Second down, and they're calling it 3 or 4 yards here. Fugate again. Coming up just short of the first, we'll have a 3rd down and 1 coming up.
Nice job there by the offensive line getting that surge. Fugate just kind of taking a few steps to the right, a few steps to the left, a few steps forward. Gaining a couple of yards as he's weaving in and out of traffic. And I am going to stand corrected on that pooch kick. It did not go out of bounds. It was recovered by Valley just on the sideline. If it would have gone out of bounds, Valley would have started at the 35-yard line.
Fugate just gets the first down out to the 40. So moving the chains there. Valley, again, this is the first possession of the second half.
And starting a lot like the first possession of Valley's in the first half, Fugate for the first 3 carries.
Here's a flag on this first down and 10. Too many penalties on Valley. I'm sure that's what Coach Swenson is
yes, if
going
there's
to be concerned about.
One thing that Coach Swenson is going to want to try and iron out before the regular season ends, it's cleaning up all the mistakes that they're making. You cannot expect to make a run in the playoffs if you are injuring yourself with mistakes.
Lombardi staying tough in the pocket. Intended for the receiver, incomplete though. It'll be 2nd and 15. Defense by Silas Finotti, senior safety for the Little Cyclones. That defensive front for Ames, Kasim Mosley, Jacob Steyert, Cal Wild, Bobby Jens. Some big boys up front there doing a pretty good job tonight against a number 1 ranked Valley team. Here's a bomb to the far side of the field. Jack Johnson just out of his reach.
That kind of was a bomb. 60 yards in the air as it went down the field. Bo, of course, will be talking to Jack saying, come on, man, you got to run a little faster there.
Bo Lombardi coming into tonight over 1,000 yards passing on the season through the first 7 games and 9 touchdowns. So he's creeping up on his numbers from last year, about 1,600 yards passing in 2017. Incomplete on that 3rd down pass. So Valley will have to punt. And Cole Peterson, the senior punter for the Tigers.
Christian Griffin did a great job from that linebacker position, sniffing out that crossing pattern and broke up the play, forcing the play here. I think this is the longest 4th down we've seen out of Valley tonight.
Bernard Bell calling for the fair catch at the 30-yard line. That's where Ames will start with their first possession of the second half, trailing here 31-0. Again, in the first half, Ames threatened at one point, but missed a 30-yard field goal attempt after a nice long drive. I'm sure they want to get back to what made them successful during that drive they drove about 70 yards, but then just didn't get any points on the board.
And if Ames comes up here and does a nice controlled short passing routes, that's where they saw their success.
Cooper Downs being pressured and just has to run forward for about a 2-yard gain.
And the hole looked bigger. When Downs took off and ran, it was wide open, but the Valley defense, led there by Avery Bonacci, was able to close that gap very quickly. They converged on the ball very, very fast.
Bonacci, another one of those seniors on the Valley football team. Here's an incomplete pass on 2nd down and 8. It'll bring up 3rd down for Ames at their own 32. I was speaking of Avery Bonacci, he plans to study sports medicine, wants to play football. And he's another one of those track guys.
Yes, been a part of the track program, doing some throws.
3rd down and long, Cooper Downs scrambling, and he'll be brought down by Bonacci. And a punting situation for the Little Cyclones.
It's always nice to see hugs amongst friends, don't you think?
So Ryan New and Creighton Mitchell back to take this punt. Oh, and another not so good punt.
The official walking up the sideline again. You know, the one thing about Ames' punter, he's left-footed. And anytime a left-footed punter gets a hold of it and you have a nice spiral kick, most of the punters that you see in high school are right-footed. Mm-hmm. And when you practice against right-footed punters and you play against right-footed punters, a left-footed punter, when the spiral happens, it's a different spin on the ball, and you'll actually see people drop the ball more coming off of a left-footed punt.
That's Josh Lonin, the left-footed punter for Ames. On this first down play for Valley, Trey Fugate, not much running room, maybe gets a yard. And Trey limping off there. So Creighton Mitchell now in at the running back position for Valley. And this is Mitchell across the 50 and into Ames territory, but a few yards short of a first. It'll bring up 3rd down, and now Creighton Mitchell down on the field after Fugate goes out with an injury.
He came down hard. And you certainly don't want to speculate on anything, but he came down, and I do feel like I saw his head hit the turf pretty good, but I don't know if it's that or the limp. I think when you have your choice between a limp and a head injury, you'll take the limp.
So Mitchell hobbles off the field. Fugate back in there, so that's the good news that Trey Fugate not too badly injured on that previous play. Lombardi to pass on the 3rd down and 3, incomplete. Let's see what Valley does here, leading 31-0. It'll be 4th and 3, but they're in Ames territory. They may just go for it.
Coach Swenson weighing out his options. It appears as though they are going to go for it as they signal into play here. Sometimes in this situation, you like to go for it on 2 and see if you can get the other team to jump off sides.
It's a handoff to Fugate, and he runs outside, cuts inside now, and it looks like he has the first down.
It will be very interesting to see. The official is stopping the clock as though he is going to say, let's move the chains. But they bring people over to take a look at it. I don't know that the spot was all that favorable.
First down.
That's one of those that sometimes you bring the chains in just to make sure. But Mr. Whitehat said, let's go ahead and move the chains. But Coach Verton is over there explaining, it's close enough. You need to measure.
Yeah, they haven't moved the chains yet. Now they will call.
Now that's actually
time
interesting, as the first down has been called. Now they're going to bring in and see what happens.
Wow. I think it's short.
Yep, Ames won that call.
How about that? So the official signaled first down, then they decide to bring the chains out and make sure, and he's actually short. So turnover on downs, Ames will take over.
You got to give Coach Verton and the credit for saying, listen, it is that close. You can't make that call when it's that close.
Well, good on the officials, too, for taking time to measure it.
You know, sometimes it's a situation where somebody will just say, hey, I made the call. It's done. Let's move on. But in this case, you're right. We'll take a look at it. I'm a good guy. I can swallow my pride if I'm wrong.
So now Ames with pretty good field position after they stopped Valley on a 4th and 3, just inches short of the first down. And the little Cyclones will have pretty good field position to start this one. Gary Swenson, it appears, wants some questions answered.
Yeah, he's not questioning the call. What he is questioning is where should the ball have actually been spotted, because he thinks forward progress was a little bit further downfield.
Cooper Downs with the pass play and a receiver open on that far side. Good for a first down. I think that's Jonah Strawhacker with a catch and run and a first down to the Valley 42. About an 18-yard pickup on that pass and catch and run.
And it's one of those things where, you know, you set up these shorter passes, a controlled passing offense, and several times what ends up happening is somebody will stop, the defender will continue moving back, you make the catch, you turn around, you get an additional 5 yards. And so the short passing game can be your best friend at times, and that's one of the things that Ames has kind of lived on and certainly gained their success throughout the season.
There's a false start on Ames. We'll bring it back to the 47-yard line. It'll be 1st and 15 for the Little Cyclones. At the bottom of your screen, the wide receiver is Will Craffle. And dropping back to pass is Downs. He's got a receiver on the far side and incomplete. The pass must have been dropped. Hard to see that far away from here, but it'll be 2nd down and 15.
One of the things that we've talked about with Cooper Downs' arm is that he's very accurate. Well, we just saw on there, he's got some heat he can put on it as well.
Downs back again, scrambling around on this 2nd down and 15 call. And he has a receiver caught close to a first down, Jonah Strawhacker. And no penalties, and the chains are moving. 1st down and 10, Ames at the Valley 29.
However, Valley sideline would have liked a penalty there. It appears again as I can't tell if I don't know if it was Logan Cruzman or Stillman that was on the rush. But when the offensive lineman has his arms stretched out chasing you behind, it's usually the sign of a hold.
But instead of 1st and 10 for Ames, and Downs has a receiver, but incomplete. That again was intended for Strawhacker.
Ames continuing to live on trips to one side and a single receiver to the top. Setting up that screen.
Domond with the catch, but he's quickly brought down and actually for a loss.
Valley's defensive line turned a little wise to that. As they always say, if it's easy, back up, stop on your tracks, get back to the line of scrimmage, find the ball. It's typically a screen coming be right over the top of you.
3rd and 12. That was Carson Shelton with the nice open field tackle. Downs passing incomplete. It'll be 4th and very long here. Ames trailing 31-0, may just choose to go for it.
Right, this is going to be a little bit long for the kicker, as it would be close to a 50-yard field goal. If you punt and it goes into the end zone, you gain 12 yards. You're down by 31. It's a pretty good chance, pretty good time to risk it.
Downs in shotgun and shoots over the middle, over the head of the receiver, so Valley takes over at their own 32. And I've been watching on the sideline, both Creighton Mitchell and Trey Fugate look like they're going to be okay, and Fugate will go back out there on the field.
Not only do you want to do your best to make the playoffs, you also want to do your best to make the playoffs healthy.
Bo Lombardi has a receiver open, J.J. Gass, but knocked down by the defender. Looks like that was Gabe Ante on back there deep. But, boy, Gass was open. If Lombardi could have thrown that a little bit farther.
Sometimes throwing on the run, you're going to lose a little bit of arm strength. And when you're throwing off balance, you don't have that back foot to push off of. And so it came up short. I think Bo would like that pass back.
2nd and 10. Fugate with the carry, and he's got about 3 yards.
Into that 3rd and long. 6 yards to go.
Lombardi looking for Jack Johnson. He's got him, and a first down for the Tigers across the 43-yard line.
Nice job by Johnson to head upfield and wall off the defender.
Know where that first down marker is.
Absolutely. And one of the other things is you work so hard to fight for more yards and more yards. But Jack did the smart thing, just went down as more people were gaining on him. That way the ball doesn't get jarred from you as you go down.
High school football on CISN TV, brought to you by Mid-American Energy, a powerful energy resource. Also G&L clothing. No matter the weather, we've got you covered. No gain on that first down carry from Fugate. 2nd down and 9, I guess, maybe a half yard on the carry. Lombardi carrying the running back Fugate, but a couple yards lost on that one. Boy, the two big guys up in the middle for Ames, Jacob Steyert and Cal Wild, they are not letting anybody through there.
No, Ames' defensive line has done some very nice things tonight. I wouldn't say they've controlled the line of scrimmage, but they've certainly been able to manage the the running game. Keeping that in check.
Lombardi passing to Fugate, just out of his reach. It'll be 4th down and a punt coming here from the Tigers.
Kind of feels like there's a lull going on where both teams are just trying to figure out how to get their offense going again.
Yep, 31-0 Valley. That was our score at halftime. And now under 4 minutes to go in the third quarter, and a big punt and a mistake by Ames to let that one go.
A big mistake by Valley as they let it go.
Into the end zone. So
yeah.
Ames will have it at the 20 when it looked like it should have been knocked down at the 1. And let's get a report from Dar Danielson, this Shields sideline report. Here's Dar.
Well, if you're wondering, it is kind of cold down here, and I think that's kind of affecting both teams a little bit. No real excitement. Valley being ahead, they can kind of just wait it out, and Ames trying to get something going here. We'll see if they can do it on this drive and maybe heat it up again.
Yep, the coldest temperatures of the season so far in the right around 40 degrees now.
Oh, but you know what that means. Time to break out the DVD, watch a little Curious George and the Boo Festival.
Huh, okay.
That's how we roll at the Bornas house.
Is that an interception for the Tigers? It is. And let's see who came down with that one. Drew Urich.
Drew Urich came down with that. Nice job. Right when Ames really needed to put together an offensive drive, pass over the middle, and Urich making the interception out of that safety position. He's had a great year. He's had several interceptions, made some big tackles. He and John Shaner have done a great job patrolling the defensive backfield.
The second interception of the night, the other one by Roy Jensen. Second one for Valley, that is. So here's Lombardi going right for the end zone. Jack Johnson, did he hang on? Yes.
My goodness.
Touchdown Tigers, a 29-yard pass from Lombardi to Johnson.
That guy should join the circus. What a catch. And in his favorite end zone, the south end zone.
So finally someone putting some points on the board in the second half. And the extra point makes it 38-0. Valley over Ames, 3:25 to go in the third quarter on CISN.TV.
Building a strong community doesn't happen overnight. It takes a vision for the future, the ability to turn a challenge into a success, and individuals who inspire new generations of growth. Greater Des Moines has done a lot of growing over the years, and so have we. At Brick Gentry Law, your success is something that we create together. Thank you for making us a part of your community. Thank you for 50 years.
Back at Valley Stadium, Cole Peterson setting the ball up, getting ready for the kickoff. 3:25 left to go in the third quarter. Valley 38, Ames 0. It's getting cold up here.
Yes. Decided to put on my jacket again. Oh boy, look out. One guy to beat, and he won't be able to do it, but a nice return there by Gabe Ante. Let's see. I think about 30, 40, good 65-yard kickoff return there, almost for a touchdown. Quickly, let's recap that pass and catch Bo Lombardi to Jack Johnson. One of the better catches you're going to see from a high school football player.
He completely laid out for that. I think Trigsted's going to want that kid to long jump. Call it the long dive.
Incomplete pass after that long kickoff return. Good field position, obviously, for Ames. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
I think that was a touchdown-saving tackle by John Shaner. He had to, on that kickoff return, he ran the Ames return man down. And, wow, the hold must have been a long way behind the line of scrimmage because it just turned into 1st and forever as Ames is back on Valley's 47-yard line now.
All right, so 1st and 25 now. Cooper Downs being pressured but finds his running back, KK Domond, who gets back close to the original line of scrimmage.
Ames doing a great job. They're living off the screen. Short passes to the back. They're living off short passes to the wide receiver, some crossing patterns. Every now and again trying to go deep to keep Valley honest.
Second down and 11, incomplete. The pass intended for Nate Withers, who would need to be a few inches taller to catch that one.
I don't think he could have caught that with a ladder. That thing sailed.
Yeah. 3rd down, 11 for Ames. They're trailing here 38-0 with just about over a minute to go in the 3rd quarter. Downs has his receiver Withers, but he's short of the first. It'll be 4th and about 2 yards to go.
Almost manageable. They've gone for it every time in this area. I can't imagine anything different now.
It's actually about 4th and 3. And it's an incomplete pass. That was intended for Withers, but coming up short. So Valley will take over at their own 35-yard line, or 25-yard line.
Pretty impressive defensive stand after that huge kickoff return. End of the first. Or end of the third, excuse me.
So we head to the final quarter. It's Valley 38, Ames 0 on CISN.TV.
There's no doubt about it. Saving feels great. At Mid-American Energy, we love saving too. Saving the environment by supporting tree planting, which improves air quality. Saving money by investing in wind energy, which keeps rates low. And saving you energy by providing tips to help make your home more energy efficient. Which means you can take those savings and put your energy into having fun. Saving definitely feels great. So does being obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Why do I look for the seal? It's about trust. Whether I'm buying a car, hiring a contractor, finding a tax preparer, or an honest mechanic, the Better Business Bureau's seal means this business meets high standards. When I see the seal, I know I'll get what I pay for. No more taking chances and no more worries. And I feel good about supporting local businesses. My life is so much easier knowing I can always trust BBB accredited businesses. It pays to look for the seal. See for yourself at bbb.org/Iowa.
It's Valley 38, Ames 0 as we start the fourth quarter. And a number of backups in there now for Valley, including a new quarterback. Bo Lombardi leaves the game, and in there now it looks like Casey Stalzer. Number 16, he is a junior.
And now number 15, Blake Edwards.
Senior.
And as we discussed earlier in the year, a great guy. Fantastic family, fantastic young man. He's got a younger brother, plays sophomore. And now, almost a first down on that run.
Yeah, does look like he has the first down.
Blake Edwards has been playing quarterback all 4 years of his career. And we hope him the best tonight.
Stalzer and Edwards
back
will,
in,
yeah, they'll just take the plays from the coach and run them in, and trying to see who the running back is. The carry there, big first down and much, much more. This is, whoa. Somebody for Ames has a little speed. Is that Ante who caught up with him?
That's going to be Mr. Bell.
Bell.
That was a very impressive run by Tegan Ho, and Tegan Ho had it in sights. Touchdown was all his, but don't feel bad, Tegan. You got caught down by the fastest guy in the state of Iowa.
That was over a 60-yard run there, though, for Ho. So 10 minutes to go in the ball game. It's 38-0 Valley, and threatening to score here again with their not their starters in there anymore. Here's a carry, about a yard gain. Will bring up second down and goal from the 4. Blake Edwards back in at quarterback. And is that Edwards with the keeper?
Well, we're going to have to see how the pile unfolds. It was not Edwards. I guess it was Edwards.
All right, so quarterback keeper. Now it's third down and goal from the 2. And Stalzer will come back in. Stalzer with the handoff and a touchdown again for the Tigers. And that is Dante Manuel with the touchdown for Valley, making it 44-0. And the point after coming here from Tinsley Wright.
Several guys got in last week as well over in Council Bluffs. Dante Manuel had his touchdown run last week, and he got one again tonight.
And the point after good. Makes it 45-0 Valley, 8:46 to go in the game on CISN.TV.
Great price, great selection, great experience. That's what people expect today. What isn't expected is how hard we work after the sale to keep your business. Hard work, honesty, integrity, discipline, trust, character. These core values are why we grow every year and why we continue to acquire more dealerships. Experience the Schottenkirk way of doing business and come visit our new Ford dealership in Indianola.
Here we are back at Valley Stadium. Keith Bornis joined by Drew Dunwald.
Hello, nice to be on.
All right, so Drew is going to take the color. I'm going to take a shot at little play-by-play. It's a little role reversal.
Yep.
Here's the kick. Ames takes it on the 3-yard line. Trying to set up the return to the right. Taken down by a host of Tigers. So Drew, sophomore.
Yes.
Football player.
Yep.
How's the season going?
Good. We're off to a 6-1 start. We got a busy week this week. We got a game Monday against Greene County. Game was canceled earlier in the season, so we'll have a game against them. And we got a big game Thursday to finish off the year at Dowling.
All right, perfect. We'll get back to Drew in just a second. We're going to go down to Dar, who is standing on the sideline. He turned away, and
Keith may have mentioned, but Bernard Bell, probably the only person who could have made that tackle on that last run. The guy who won the 100 and 200 state titles on the track. So no surprise that he ran down that and just delayed the inevitable a little bit on the touchdown run.
Thank you, Dar, for the sideline report. On that play, Cooper Downs looking to move the ball downfield. Pass broken up by the Valley defense. There is a penalty flag on the floor. Drew, do you enjoy seeing those yellow hankies come out onto the field at all?
I do not. It slows the game down.
You're right.
Especially in a running clock situation. It has to stop it.
So, running clock no more as the penalty comes out. They are going to sort things out and get back into play here in just a little bit. Have they given the signal as to what actually happened?
I do not believe so.
So we have a player from Ames that has just been invited to spend the rest of the game on the sideline for a little unsportsmanlike, throwing a punch. No room for that in the game of football.
Nope. And a lot of these kids, or some of these kids we actually played last night, they played the second half of some of those juniors for the Ames team.
Oh, very good. So you're pretty familiar with several of these guys?
Yes.
All right. Another flag coming down as, let's see, is Downs still the quarterback in there? I believe he is. Cooper Downs taking the ball for a gain of 4, but the flag coming from the offensive backfield. Got a chance to be a hold, but I think it's going to be declined here. So, Drew, as this thing continues to unfold here, you were talking about having a busy week coming up here. You got a game on Monday and then again on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
What do you got going on?
We got a practice Sunday. We had a film review and then run today to get ready for Monday, and then review what our mistakes were last night. And then Thursday we're going to also review this week and then have a quick preparation and turnaround for Dowling. We beat them early in the year, but we know they're going to come back strong, and they're going to want this second victory. So we're going to have to come play.
All right, so a game Monday, quick turnaround for another game on Thursday. So that'll be, as you said, a lot of preparation.
Mm-hmm.
Cooper Downs getting set to take the snap. Back to pass. Crossing pattern. Nicely played by Hunter Underwood coming out of the linebacker position. Brings up a 4th and 3 as Ames brings in the punt team. 6:22 to go, 45-0. Valley out on top.
This Valley defense has played very well the last couple weeks.
They really have. They gave up 0 points against Council Bluffs' Abe Lincoln. 0 points so far tonight.
We got Des Moines North up next Friday, I believe.
Des Moines North at North.
Mm-hmm.
J.J. Gass back on the return. Valley is going to take over after the fair catch on the 42-yard line. So the sophomore season has gone very well.
Yes, it has.
Everybody knows and loves Coach Bakey.
Yep. He's the legend around here.
The legend. For some, a myth. To most, a legend. As Blake Edwards is set to take the snap, Valley offensive line up. Ames defense appeared to be in the neutral zone, but no call.
I think these refs want to get the game over with.
Well, the clock is moving. Last night, sophomores were up in Ames, got a victory. The freshmen were down here at Valley Stadium. They too got a victory. But I'm going to tell you right now, Ames has something to be pretty happy about. Their freshman class is an extremely talented class, and they have some big fellas. One of them played quarterback last night.
Really?
I'm not kidding you. I think the guy was 6'5" and weighed 280 pounds.
It's a big man.
Yes, indeed. I'm not kidding you when I for you Iowa fans of many years past, I thought they brought Nick Bell in, former Iowa running back, to play quarterback last night at the freshman game, and is very good. Got a lot of talent. He's big, strong, fast, and agile. Valley is penalized, moved back for a 5-yard penalty after, well, we're going to chalk it up to a mistake. Single back. Dante Manuel. No gain on the play is going to bring up a 3rd down. So, Drew, you want to get into some sports broadcasting, do some things like that in your future someday, maybe?
Yeah, I'd love to. I'm in a sports broadcasting class right now. Then I'm probably going to take the general broadcasting class next year, and I'll keep taking that throughout my high school career, I believe so.
That is outstanding. Well, I certainly appreciate your time coming up here.
Thanks for having me
being a
up
part
here.
of this. Yeah. Good luck with your busy week next year.
Thank you.
Well, next week, and then as basketball's going to be starting up here in a little bit.
Yep.
All right. As you hand off to a myth and a legend in his own way, Pat Curtis is going to jump back in and save both of us.
All right. Thanks for having me on.
Take care, Drew.
All right.
All right, that sounded fun.
Well, it was. There was just one problem. I'm not a play-by-play guy.
Oh.
So with all of that, a conversation was had. We covered a couple of things here, but Pat, it's always good to have you back in the driver's seat.
Well, thank you. There's now under 4 minutes to go in the game, and all the backups in there now for Valley. Long pass, showing a good arm there is Casey Stalzer, but incomplete.
And the route was a good route. The ball was thrown where it should have been. The route was good, but the coverage was exceptional.
That was Aiden Feldman running that route, junior receiver, I think. Is that the number you caught, 81?
I think number 80.
Okay.
So Nate Lasher.
Oh, yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah. Coach Trigstead, if Nate would have been in earlier, Coach Trigstead would have talked a little bit at halftime about him as well as being on the track team and being somebody that has certainly made a dent.
Pretty good punt here, and but room for a return after a flag. Let's see what this is, but
an apparent block in the back.
Yeah. So Ames will be marched back a few more yards and take over. And a number of new names out there defensively for Valley as well. I know last week in a 77-0 game, the starters were out of there sometime in the second quarter.
Well, yeah, Coach Swenson had made the decision that they wouldn't even come out of halftime and get on the field. So they just kind of tried to stay warm and dry.
So the clock moving now. Ames takes over on their 19-yard line. Here's a running play, no gain. So Ames will leave Valley Stadium with their first loss since week 2. They'll fall to 5-3 overall, 3-1 in District 7, and a big game coming up next Friday against Urbandale. And this Valley team will play Des Moines North to end the regular season next Friday. 2 minutes to go. Here's a pass play. It's caught, but only about a 1-yard gain on the far side of the field.
As Mr. Dunwald expressed earlier, he was pretty impressed with Valley's defense, playing well all night tonight, last week as well.
Yeah.
The week before was Urbandale, correct? And
That's right.
they had a pretty good defensive game there as well. So defense seems to be dialed in right now.
This will be the 4th game this season that they've shut out their opponent. Cedar Rapids Kennedy 42-0. Jeff 56-0. Last week against Lincoln 77-0, and now 45-0 is our score, with just about a minute to go. We will be here in 2 weeks back at Valley Stadium with the broadcast of the Tigers playoff game. So thank you tonight for tuning in to CISN.TV. And you can tune in every Friday night for some high school football from the Metro. I think next Friday I'll be at Centennial doing that game. And then 2 weeks we'll be back here for the first round playoff game between Valley and whoever their opponent will be. And then it would appear that what's going to happen is if Valley wins that first round game, they'll face Dowling here in round number 2 in the
Yes.
that'd be the quarterfinals.
Yes, and it really will all depend on what the state is going to use as far as the seeding. If they're going to go based off of, Valley being ranked number 1 in the state, or if it's going to be an RPI thing, that could go several different ways. And if they go a true RPI, is it going to be cross-state seeded, or is it going to be an east and a west side? So it'll be very interesting here as time is running out here.
All right. And that will be our final score. West Des Moines Valley improving to 8-0 on the season, the number 1 ranked team in Class 4A, beating Ames 45-0.
Okay.
And again, coming up next week, Valley travels to Des Moines North. Ames at home against Urbandale. That will be the final game of the regular season. So we want to thank you so much for joining us for this broadcast, and I think we're going to see if we can get Dar Danielson with Coach Swenson on the sideline, is what I'm being told. So we'll hang here for just a little bit. I want to thank Dar for providing us the Shields sideline reports. We'll wait to get the signal from him after the teams meet at midfield. But just overall, Keith, your thoughts on how Valley looked tonight?
For the most part, I really thought Valley had a good, clean game, especially on the defensive side of the ball. You can't expect to stop a well-coached team like Ames every play. And so at times it looked like a bend, don't break. But I thought defensively they were clean all night, and they pitched a shutout because of it. As far as the offense, just a few things here and there, hanging on to the ball, getting a little bit of more of a shove get off the line of scrimmage, fine-tuning your passes, let a couple of people downfield just a little too far. But how do you say a 45-0 win isn't kind of getting yourself in a position to try and make a run for things as the state playoffs start to draw near?
I'm sure Coach Swenson, when we hear from him, might find some fault with all the penalties and just some of the mistakes like that they'll need to shore up before the playoffs hit. Let's see if we've got Dar Danielson here down on the sideline with Valley coach Gary Swenson.
Here with head coach Gary Swenson. Well, you come out, you score big last week, and you think you might start getting a big head, and we're going to come out and take it easy, but you guys came out and went right to business today in this first half.
I thought we played well in the first half. I thought we were efficient. We just made too many mistakes. I think we had 6 or 7 holding calls. That's just sloppy football at this point in the year. We shouldn't be executing that way, but Ames practices every night just like we do. I mean, they've got some good players. All in all, I thought it was a good night for our guys. Like you said, we came out, we finished off a drive at the end of the half, which was good to see. And, other than we got nicked up a little bit, a couple injuries, but I don't think they're serious. So we're in good shape.
Cold weather, did that bother you at all or have much impact, you think?
No, none at all. This actually was a pretty nice night to play. With the rain we've had every day, at least we were dry. So, we're getting into that part of the season now where you're going to play in some elements and some of it will be cold. That doesn't affect us at all.
Well, when you get into that part of the season, having that running game, that's a big key, and you had that tonight, didn't you?
We did, not consistently, but it was okay. And I thought at times we were efficient. We weren't very patient. Both of our running backs were really excited to play, and sometimes they try and hit the home run every down, and it just wasn't there, but we still were pretty productive.
Well, we only had just a little bit of rain here at the end of the game, so that was good. Now on to the final game, week 9, and you're undefeated going into that.
Yeah, the playoffs are staring us right in the face, so we play a team next week that has had a struggle, and we're trying to focus on what we do right now and trying to fix a few things so that when we get into that playoff run, our schedule was front-loaded. We knew that, and we knew the district was going to be not strong, and that's the way it's panned out. But we've just tried to go out every Friday night and play the best we could and worry about ourselves and not the opponent. So I think we're doing that.
All right, well, thanks for the time tonight, and congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
That's Valley coach Gary Swenson with Dar Danielson, our Shields sideline report. Now a timeout on CISN.TV.
Great price, great selection, great experience. That's what people expect today. What isn't expected is how hard we work after the sale to keep your business. Hard work, honesty, integrity, discipline, trust, character. These core values are why we grow every year and why we continue to acquire more dealerships. Experience the Schottenkirk way of doing business and come visit our new Ford dealership in Indianola.
Hi, I'm Chris from Fireplace Superstore. September and October are the best times of year to sit outside, and we still have a great selection of 2018 merchandise, like this OWLE Deep Seating group. Or maybe you'd prefer wicker, like this North Cape group. And fire pits. There's nothing better than sitting out on the deck in the fall with a nice fire going. But get here soon, because the sold tags are coming out quick, and you don't want to be too late.
For great deals on great furniture, come to Fireplace Superstore.
Miss your hometown clothing store? The one that had it all? Everything to get the work done, all in one place? G&L Clothing is your hometown Iowa store. Stop in and see us, or we're only a click or phone call away. Family owned for nearly a century. G&L Clothing, 1801 Ingersoll, Des Moines.
G&L Clothing, your size, your style, we've got it all.
The final tonight at Valley Stadium in West Des Moines. The Valley Tigers 45, Ames 0. And now we enter week 9, the final week of the regular season for high school football, and Valley looking very good, undefeated, ranked number 1. Ames will travel home to face Urbandale in their final game. I'm Pat Curtis. Want to thank Keith Bornes for all the color commentary, and Dar Danielson down on the field. We heard him talking with Coach Swenson. And Gary, just your thoughts on what the coach had to say afterward.
Boy, I tell you, I think Coach Swenson, he's been coaching football for ever, and so he certainly knows what he needs to do for his team, and so when he talked about just cleaning things up and trying to eliminate mistakes, things that are going to hurt you in the long run, holding penalties, blocking below the waist, and there were just so many flags that came out on the field tonight. You get those things cleaned up, the wins take care of themselves. The plays take care of themselves. And so just to iron it out, start looking a little sharper. And the other thing he's going to work on is tempo. You know, he didn't talk about it, but it's one thing that Valley is kind of known for is controlling the clock. If you want to go fast, you go fast. You want to slow it down, you slow it down. So he's also going to be talking about tempo of the game.
All right, some of the stars of the game. Trey Fugate, 3 touchdown carries. And Bo Lombardi had 2 touchdown passes, one to Wilcoxon, one to Jack Johnson, one of the great plays of the game, a 29-yard diving catch in the end zone. And then one of the backups in there at running back, Dante Manuel, with a 3-yard touchdown run. That capped the scoring. Also should mention that short field goal by Tinsley Wright in the first quarter. That was all the scoring for Valley. Again, winners here tonight over Ames, 45-0. Thank you to everyone on the CISN.TV crew for bringing you this game, and thank you for watching. For Keith Bornes, I'm Pat Curtis, also for Dar Danielson. Thanks for watching. 45-0, Valley over Ames. This has been high school football on CISN.TV.